Hi, this is Pastor Eddie Cox. Welcome to the Weekly Five. We've been doing this series called Over It, and it's basically, I was calling it Get Over It. And so we did something this week called Comparisons, and it's one of those things that's a little sneaky. If I were to say to you, are you envious, are you jealous? Most of you would say, no, that's not me. But in the end, we are all looking out the window. We're all trying to figure out, why don't I have what they have? And it happens a lot. And I look at it when you see Facebook, that is kind of where we figure out on social media. It's like, what is everybody doing? How come that family is so happy? Why can't my family be that happy? How can I get another Disney trip? They just had 6. So this is kind of what happens, and it just kind of sneaks in, and it's an inside job. It really comes inside out from you. It's not really about them, it's about you. And you have to be careful because you'll lose the life that God has for you, wanting to have somebody else's life. And we forget what we have. We forget the stuff that God has already done for us and already has things happening in our life. But yet we seem to know more about what the other person's doing rather than what we're doing. And we have to be really careful with that. And the Apostle Paul, we talked about a secret he had. It was a really good secret on how to live here. That was one of the things that he was talking about, writing in prison. All this Philippians was written in prison. And so he was talking about how to live on this earth and be what we call content. Because that's very hard for us, especially Americans. We always wanting something else, something new. One of the things I said was, my house, I'm painting it right now, but I'm actually painting it for somebody else because somebody else is going to own it. Somebody else is going to own my car. All those things. And so Paul had the secret to this whole deal. And I'm going to read it to you. It's in Philippians 4:11 through 13. Philippians 4:11 through 13. He said, I'm not saying this because I'm in need. So he's telling us the secret, but he's telling us this not because he has need or he has want or he has plenty. So, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances, whether I'm in prison, out of prison, all this stuff. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. So, having stuff or having enough this or enough that obviously is not what makes people content. This is what Paul says. There's something else that's a secret that he knew, and I'm going to read you the secret. Now, in the Bible, Jesus told people not to tell, and they went and told. You can tell this one. You just live this one. Here's what it says. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. He said, it doesn't really matter which way it goes on this earth because I have figured out the secret. And the secret is Philippians 4:13. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. He said, Christ is my secret. He said, that has given me what I need to live here because I understand what it means to live here and I understand what it means to live somewhere else because that is where we're going. I actually have it on the screen here for you. It said, this is what happened. This is what Paul figured out for all of us. He says, I'm in Christ and my identity is in Christ. He says, I have a position now that I didn't have before. I have the same things that Jesus has now. I have all these things. I am going to be seated at the table. I'm going to be heir to the throne. I'm part of the family. He said, and all this stuff, this well-fed, or you plenty, or you have this, or you have that, none of that matters because of this. I am in him, and there's where my contentment comes from. There's where all my stuff on this earth, being happy or not happy, it has nothing to do with it. He said, I found my contentment in Jesus Christ because he has given me a place. He has given me an identity. I don't have to look out my window. I can be happy with my life and my stuff. So remember that. Just be happy with what God has given you. Somebody else will own it one day, but we have to live and happy, content, all those things. That's what he says. See you next week.